All right, it's Friday, January 12th. This is an end of the day SPY recap. And today on the daily chart, we end up with a two up kind of consolidation day where we kind of took out the high of the previous day, held above the midpoint of the previous day, but didn't really go anywhere to the upside and didn't really fail to the downside either. So you can see here we end a little bit red, but in the top half of yesterday's range and kind of close the week near the high end of its range. So if you look at the weekly chart, we had a two up week that had a target up to this high, and we reached that, and then that's kind of pausing. So all this is at the moment could be some pausing action up here as we continue to follow through higher on the quarterly chart and the yearly chart. There's still a target up to that 4,800 area, maybe beyond that. We're green on the year and the quarter. And the month, obviously, so we stick with that. You can see coming into next week, the open of the year, the purple line, is right at the midpoint of the week, essentially. So as long as we kind of stay above there, even if we consolidate a little bit, we're expect to go higher. If we do get some kind of reversal to the downside, then we get below, we turn the yearly chart red here. Maybe we get a two down week, but price action will lead us there if somehow this becomes a two up failure that eventually continues lower. What we do have is a bit of an actionable signal on Monday to the downside. We have a 3-2 up, 2 down reversal possibility. So we will take that if it develops, if we open below the midpoint of today on Monday and head lower. But what's interesting here is if we get that two down, we are anticipating kind of a chain reaction to take out that target low, which turns the yearly chart back to red temporarily, and maybe this week gets reversed. But if we do get some kind of a two down and can't reach that target, then we get excited to really look for buys in line with the bigger picture of the upside. The other, obviously the other way to go on Monday would be to the upside to start a continuation. And at that point, we see if we start up, do we come back through the daily chart here to get some kind of failure possibly developing that can get us down there. So in other words, on this weekly chart, maybe we start up, hit our 4,800 target, which is not that far away, and then we start, coming back through the range. And the only way we really fail on the weekly chart is to get back through the midpoint of this range. So, it doesn't look like the failure is developing into next week, but you never know. So pausing a little bit at the top of a green bar, we'll expect higher. Today, the only thing to do was kind of out of the gates, we price started above the pre-market high, the pre-market range high, and then on bar number 2 had a big red bar to the downside. So I actually bought some puts right here at the end of bar number 2, and it did give you an opportunity for a little bit of a gain. But once I saw it kind of grinding lower, not really following through all that much, staying above the halfway point of the prior day, I just exited with a small gain. And other than that, you try to make a secondary push, couldn't even get to the intraday lows. And so essentially these first 5 bars here were, the range for the entire day, and then we just stayed inside for the rest of the day. So not much to do today when we didn't really follow through above the first bar high, and we didn't really get a failure on the opportunity maybe, to try a short trade here. And the reason you try that short trade is because we had that broadening action the day before where we had the higher high, lower low. And then as we bounced pretty strongly from there, the goal was to come back through the range, and we did that right at the open here, and then we started lower. So maybe we were going to get a higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low type thing unfolding. But that would have been pretty severe, reaction, given the fact that this was a pretty strong one-leg push up here. So that looks like, pretty strong buying is holding some good support in this area at the moment. So anyway, we will see what it develops. We do have the actionable signal to the downside. If we get it, we take it. But, beyond, if we can't reach that target, then get real excited to get long. And if we go to the upside, we still have this 4,800 area and even possibly, much higher above that, in line with the bigger picture back here. So, we could be making a whole nother push up that until the weekly chart really reverses. We could be, after this 1 week pause, get a push up. Maybe we go up for many weeks in a row like we did here early. So, anything's possible, but the buys are still at the upside now, and we'll see what unfolds into next week.